That was really loud. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay and thank you so much for joining me. Basically, I'm all things health. This is like a part 2 of the breast implant illness series that I'm doing on my channel. For this video, I am going to be talking about the symptoms. So we're gonna kind of bring it back to when I first originally started seeing symptoms, which was not even 6 months after I implanted. I feel like that was initially what got me to the point of explanting, was all of the like physical debilitating symptoms that I went through. And hopefully somebody will see this and they'll be like, hey, I have those. I have breast implants. Could it be your breast implants? It could really be them. So generally people can experience symptoms between like months or even years after they've implanted, and it all depends on the person. But in my case, it was 6 months, around 6 months is when I first started seeing symptoms. I think that mine showed up just a little bit faster because I already have a pre-existing autoimmune disease. It's called Raynaud's phenomenon, and I'll show a picture up here of what it looks like. So basically what happens is when it gets really cold, things constrict. And in my case, it's my capillaries, which basically causes them to lose a lot of the blood flow. So I kind of just want to run through like a list of symptoms that I experienced in the order that I experienced them in. One of the very first symptoms that I had was cystic acne. I got really bad like forehead acne, which was kind of like normal, but it was like the white pustules. And then I got cystic acne like all like up my temples, down in my jawline. Like it was awful. I had never experienced acne as severe as this. And like during my teenage years, you know, you get like the little tiny bits of acne here and there. This was like full-blown acne. So imagine going from something like this at age 21 and then you hit age 23 and it looks like this, and you're just kind of sitting there looking at yourself in the mirror like, what the f do I do with this? Like, how am I supposed to cover this up? Honestly, just became really crippling to my self-esteem, and I just wouldn't want to leave the house, and I became like really isolated because of it. From my cystic acne, it progressed into a yeast overgrowth, which is called Candida. I'm gonna look it up, hold on. Candidiasis. Candidiasis, that's what it turned into, and it was disgusting. It is a yeast overgrowth in your body. It could be like a yeast infection. It could show like in your mouth. It's called like oral thrush. For me, it happened like in my digestive system, which means that I had a lot of yeast overgrowth bacteria in my digestive tract, which I think what was causing my acne all over my face, because I really do believe in like the gut skin connection. This Candida overgrowth is when the Candida species enters into your bloodstream, and it can infect like your internal organs. So this could be your brain, your liver, or your digestive system, which I also think was what was contributing to my brain fog and me having like a really hard time making like conversation with somebody or just even remembering simple things. Right when I thought things can't possibly get worse, they did. They got worse. So I had suffered from migraines before, but these were different. I was now getting migraines with an aura. An aura is a small blind spot that can appear, but instead of like your blind spots that are behind, you know, from like right here back, this would happen in like the center of my eye. So it could be right here. And it was scary the first time that I got one because I was driving. So you're driving and your eyesight goes out completely and you can't see anything. It's fuzzy, it's blurry. I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like when you get into migraine aura. So that happened first. I got the migraine aura and I was like, I can deal with this. I'll be fine. Nope, I was wrong, because then the aura turned into a moving numbness. And when I say moving numbness, it would start in the most random spots in my body. It would start in my fingertips or like my cheek, and it'd be like inside my mouth and my gums and my tongue. I could feel it, and it would start off as like a moving blob, and it would move down through my arm or it'd move up my arm. All I knew is that something was wrong, and I really thought that I was having a stroke. So these migraines were happening bi-weekly, or monthly. So they weren't just like once in a blue moon. They were happening to me on a regular basis to where it was gonna affect me doing my job and even like my day-to-day life. So I went to see this neurologist. He set me up for an MRI and a CT scan. He got the images back. He had looked at them before he'd seen me, and he walks in, he seems like really chill about it, and he takes me step by step through the scans of my MRIs. He told me that there was nothing wrong with my brain. He told me that I have the healthiest brain that he's ever seen, especially for somebody who's having as many migraines and as many headaches as I was having. So he ruled out that I didn't have any tumors, my brain was healthy, I was fine. But then another symptom popped up. I started having really intense stomach cramping to the point where I would throw up so hard that I would be breaking blood vessels in my face. And I knew that it had something to do with my digestive system. So at that point, I did everything I could think of diet-wise, cutting out dairy, cutting out gluten, cutting out meat, cutting out soy, not drinking alcohol, but nothing was working. Nothing was clearing my face, and nothing was fixing the cramping and the bloating that I was experiencing. I actually got to the point where it was so painful that I went to the ER. I shouldn't be feeling like this for no reason. And when I got there, they did an abdominal sonogram so they could rule out any potential findings in there. And of course, it came back inconclusive. At this point, I really was diving deeper into my research because there was no way that somebody could feel as bad as I did without a reason. And the doctors were helping me, so I was like, well, the only person that's gonna help me is me. And my mom was actually the one to send me a group on Facebook filled with hundreds of thousands of women who were experiencing the exact same symptoms that I was, and it was linked to no diagnosis. So at this point, I'm like, what the? There's no way that hundreds of thousands of women are experiencing this and they're not getting a diagnosis. My curiosity hit me real hard. I wanted to know what is in these implants that is making us so sick. Because when you get implants, you don't really care what's in them. You don't even really think about it. You're like, I just want to look good. I want some big tatas. Put them in me. Everybody else gets them and they seem fine. I never dug deep to find out what was in them. Like, what are they made of? Like, what is being put in my body on top of my heart and my lungs? I found a list and it had all of the heavy metals and the carcinogens that are in both saline and silicone implants. So a lot of people have the argument of, well, silicone has all of the heavy metals, so I can get saline and they'll be fine. That's not necessarily true, because while the saline implants are actual saline, the casing that holds the saline is made of silicone. And in some cases, the saline can mold. So at this point, after reading the Facebook, after dealing with all of these various symptoms, after exhausting every single option, I decided to explant. So I found a doctor in Florida who believed in breast implant illness and would take them out. So there was no guarantee this was gonna fix me, but I dropped $7,500 to remove them from my body. There was no guarantee that my health would improve after I removed them. No doctor would definitively say, if you take these out, you're going to feel better. But it was my last ditch effort and I exhausted everything at that point. So I want to let you guys know, 8 months post-op, it's been a crazy journey, and I'm so glad that I took the time to document things, because looking back on this journey and like this story that I went through, I really feel like could help somebody else. So I kind of want to end this video with the list of all the things that I was suffering when I had my implants in. I wrote them on a sticky. These are just a few. This is not a few. This is a very long list of things that I went through. Digestive issues, severe fatigue, skin rashes, difficulty concentrating, lots of memory loss, the moving numbness and tingling in my fingertips and my toes and all over my body, severe migraines, cystic acne, yeast overgrowth, food intolerance, swollen lymph nodes, joint pain. I felt like I was 87 years old when I'm 25. inflammation all over my body, especially in my face, heart palpitations, and shortness of breath. And I have to tell you guys, I don't have one single thing on this list. Nothing, it's all gone. And nobody can, you know, no doctor can explain to me why, but I know why. And it's because I took a chance and I got rid of the one thing that I knew was slowly killing me. I did it, I took them out. So I just want to end the video by saying I really hope that if you're considering getting breast implants, that you do your research. I'm not here to tell you to not get them. I just feel like people don't have the information that they need, and people should have the full information before they go in and get something put in their body. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was informational for somebody. We wanted to just say thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.